One doctor. Right now, I'll do farewell, because that's,
Okay.
that's just the beginning of the service. Oh, hi.
Birthdays and announcements. Oh, can you add no service, no Dharma school service last, for the last Sunday? Thank you. You know that we could have. Whatever that day is.
Oh, it is, okay. Can I do end this in order?
Let's see that.
Oh, then
It's
no.
good.
Let's do a local school.
Nobody will do it. You can do interview with them, they get that for next time.
Let's do listen to us verses 1 and 2.
Oh, do they need that? Read that?
Although, I think I might have some on the last.
Okay. 'Cause I got it. Two verses?
Yeah.
Huh?
How do you spell verses?
V-E-R-S.
Oh, S-U-S, okay.
Okay, I'll make a note. Thank you.
In English and Japanese. How are you doing? How are you?
Hey, still getting ready to work. Yeah. Time is 9:59.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just adding in for the group fund
Oh, no,
raise.
it's all right.
I just posted it, I'm sorry.
It's, and I have flyers over there and pictures.
Okay.
Take pictures.
So Charlie is, trying to learn how to use it.
Yeah, I heard Alex trying.
I told him, yeah, there's two first graders.
Hi, good morning.
Make sure they pronounce the Vichys.
Mr. Kirk, that's what you want.
Yeah.
Now that is
Selling tickets. These are April 29th.
Can you tell me the dates?
April 29th.
And then $15? Okay.
In Stockton.
Various locations.
Yeah,
Okay. It's $15. $15.
It's pasta, salad, bread.
I'll just say pasta.
Okay, that's fine. Thanks.
Thank you.
Our coffee hours, legit.
Thank you.
Well, I got it, sure. As you said, you guys over there. Start getting started. No, you have to.
Namanda, 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 Namanda.
Good morning. My name is Taiga Matsumoto, and I would like to welcome you to today's service. We will begin our service with opening meditation followed by Nembutsu. Please join me in placing your hands together in Gasho.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu.
Please rise for the singing of Gada. Listen to his voice on page 178 on the service book, verses 1 and 2.
Followed by the recitation of the Golden Chain and Nembutsu on page 5.
Golden Chain. I am a link in Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu.
Please join in the chanting of the sutra, Jusege, on page 95 of the service book. During the sutra chanting, we will have oshoko, or incense offering, by the following. Dharma School student, Emily Wong. Adult, Jun Shiba.
Gagon Chosegan Hishimu Jodom Shigan Fumanzok Seifujo Shogak Gaomudyokom Fumidai Seishu Fusai Shobingu Seifujo Shogak Gashijo Butsudom Myosho Chojipom Kukyomi Shomon 政府上小学利欲人少年上映主凡業しぐむ浄土一生天にし地に起現大根不祥無才道少女三苦名交際集約難会議知恵言名詞根門案閉塞小悪道通達全宗門高僧上満足いよどじぽ日月主十金天根不言一種解放像公正功徳本超大集中説法ししく供養一切仏具足習徳本金質上満得意三害音如仏無下地通達未不詳感覚へ力投資最小損志願や効果大勢の感動国書天人東内妙見ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブ観にしくどく平等正祭道本も大心法上安楽ナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツ
We will now listen to the Dharma message by Reverend Candice Shibata.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for your attendance today. And by a show of hands, how many of you have been to Disneyland or California Adventure or an amusement park that you really enjoy? Okay, so most of us. Okay, so, well, this message is actually inspired by my recent vacation last week with my family. And my great-nephew, this is my niece's son, and my sister, who's a teacher, happened to have spring break during the same time of the year. So we decided to take our first family vacation together since AJ was born. And he's actually 7. So this is our first vacation. And it seemed like it had taken a while for us to actually get this planned. So again, this trip included my niece and her husband, their son AJ, AJ's cousin Jordan, myself, Tiffany, and our sister Danielle. So I was, if you can imagine, excited leading up to the trip. But for those of you who work and take family vacations, you know leading up to the trip is kind of stressful because there's so much to do beforehand. But then as I was thinking about coming back, I was a little concerned about my responsibilities at the temple for work, especially when I came back. But I was really fortunate that Reverend Motoyoshi was able to provide coverage for me for any religious emergencies while I was away. So like my sister, who is a teacher, and my great-nephew, many students and families, I believe, had spring break at the same time. And so everybody was at Disneyland when we went on Tuesday. And perhaps maybe on Monday, people were still traveling back from Easter break and that kind of thing. So luckily, California Adventure wasn't as busy on Monday, the day before we went to Disneyland. So that was pretty enjoyable. However, on Tuesday, it felt hotter in Southern California, and my feet and my legs were already tired from the day before. But I was excited to see the new Star Wars area, so that kept me pretty happy and interested. And it was actually very cool. And I think all of the elements of those 2 days, such as the crowds, the long lines, the heat, my sore feet and legs, got to, I think, all of us at times. And I think, to be quite honest, we lost our patience with one another. And I kind of felt my enjoyment dwindle away at times as I stood in line, especially actually in California Adventure, the Spider-Man ride. They trick you. That line, it went like this and this and this, and so I was thinking, oh, we'll get on this line really quickly. It didn't happen. So then I really felt my patience dwindling. So as I was standing in those long lines, I was thinking to myself, I'd rather just be at home, relaxing, and just not doing anything right now. However, perhaps maybe you can think about your time standing in line like I did. I needed to remind myself to stay in the moment and to remember really how fortunate I was to be able to go on vacation with my family, especially since, again, this was our first family vacation since my great-nephew was born. So you might have heard that there's this term in Japanese called ichigo ichie, which means one time, one meeting. And although it's a Japanese concept, I believe it's very Buddhist in nature and a very universal teaching for us all. So it means that an encounter only happens once in a lifetime, reminding us to treasure every moment because it will never recur again. So it reminds us that everything in our lives are constantly changing. And although my family might have an opportunity to go to Disneyland around this time next year, it'll be completely different. The dynamics will be different. We'll be a year older. Maybe there won't be as many family members who can go. So all of these conditions of our lives, they'll be different since things can't stay the same forever. So this, again, was a very helpful reminder because even in those not so pleasant conditions of our vacation, I knew that this would also pass, this opportunity, and also those unpleasant feelings that I was having. And I acknowledge that everyone here, not just in our family, but everybody at Disneyland and California Adventure, they wanted to have a good time too. And so this made me a little less impatient. I was able to accept the conditions as they were, and especially when I was able to enjoy a corn dog and a churro times two and a hamburger and popcorn and popcorn and popcorn. And so I think that made me a little less hangry. So I'm glad that I was able to enjoy those foods too. So with all of this in mind, next time that you're able to experience the joys of vacation like I did, or even maybe an unpleasant situation that you might find yourself in, please remember that this too will also pass, and to experience and learn from every moment that we are so fortunate to be able to experience in our lifetimes. Okay, with that, will you please join me in Gasho? Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda.
We will now have birthdays for April 2024. As your name is called, please come up and burn incense, receive your cupcake, and have your candle lit by Sensei. For Dharma School, we have Ella Uemura, and she's the only one for Dharma School. Are there any other students or young ones here with birthday? Zelda Tran. So sorry, Zelda. Happy birthday. You'll still get a cupcake. Don't worry, we have plenty. Good job, Zelda. Adults, Tad Shibata, Tiffany Shibata, Vivian Fuji, Kimi Ishihara, here, but she's... Yeah. Misa Uemura, Joanne Uemura. Are there any other birthdays in April? Please don't be shy. We have so many cupcakes, and we'd love for you to have it. May Coleman. They're in the crying room. All right, if there's no other birthdays in April, we will sing happy birthday to our dear friends. Now for announcements. The 2024 Temple Scholarship applications are now available for graduating seniors and college students associated with our temple. Our Hanamatsuri service is on April 14th at 10 a.m. Our guest speaker is Reverend Matt Hamasaki from the Buddhist Church of Sacramento. Our Hanamido setup is on April 13th at 3 p.m. Tomono-kai has been canceled on April 13th. The doll making class has been rescheduled for April 20th at 9 a.m. Stockton's JCL Day of Remembrance is at 1 p.m. on April 20th at the Delta College Don Mabalon Forum. Doors are open at 12:30. Donation of bazaar raffle prizes are being requested and is greatly appreciated. Please drop off any donations during regular office hours. Reverend Shibata's book club will meet on April 24th at 6:30 p.m. If you are interested in participating, please contact Reverend Shibata. Sangha Club is continuing collection of aluminum cans and recyclable plastic bottles. Donations may be left in the white bin under the carport area. Help keep recyclable bottles and cans out of your landfills while supporting one of our youth organizations. There will be coffee hour in the gym today. There's no Dharma school or service on April 28th due to the FDSDL conference. YBA is currently holding a virtual Double Good popcorn fundraiser now until Tuesday, April 9th, ending at 9 a.m. YBA receives 50% of the fundraiser back from Double Good, so it's a really good thing. We have flyers in the back or a picture that you can take a picture of, and it's a virtual pop-up. So you order it, you pick what you want, and then it's delivered to your doorstep. Yaba is also selling tickets for the Da Vinci's fundraiser from April 29th to May 5th. There's various locations in the area that will take it, and it's $15 for a pasta meal, and there's tickets in the foyer that you can also purchase. Are there any other announcements?
And while Mike is making his way over, just a quick announcement regarding choir. So our choir, Small But Mighty Choir, has our next practice on April 13th at 3 p.m. here in the temple while we're also doing the Hanamido. So if you have any questions about the choir, want to participate, there's no experience necessary, and all ages and levels of singing ability are welcome. Okay, so please let me know if you have any questions or are interested. Thank you.
Another announcement is tomorrow there'll be taiko class at 5:30 and a Stockton JCL meeting at 7 in the mini chapel. The Stockton JCL Day of Remembrance is on Saturday, April 20th. It commemorates the removal of Japanese people of Japanese ancestry to relocation centers. people that lived in Stockton had to report to the Stockton Assembly Center. And on the Day of Remembrance, we'll be having an update on the progress of having the last remaining building at the Stockton Assembly Center become a museum and a park. Reverend David Matsumoto, former minister here at Stockton, is retiring from the BCA in June. 2 weeks from now, during class time, students will learn the remaining of John Kempo on taiko, and we will be recording a performance for Reverend Matsumoto. Thank you.
Okay, actually, there's one more announcement. The Stockton Buddhist Women's Association has their meeting at 11:30 today in the mini chapel. So it's time to dismiss to class. Please observe good etiquette and do not enter the aisle before the row in front of you. Those students who did not offer incense before the service are asked to do so before leaving the hondo. And following this service will be the April Shotsuki Memorial Service. Thank you.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's so nice to see all of you today for our monthly Shotsuki Memorial Service. And I know that many of the students are we're taking up the first rows, but it's always so sad to see everybody in the back, sitting in the back. I think it always happens like at, hello, at churches and temples and even school. So, but you know, as I've gotten a little bit older and maybe my eyesight is changing a lot, now I always sit in the front so I can see. So hopefully you can see me from where you're sitting. But we truly appreciate you coming and observing your loved one or your friend in the Dharma's monthly memorial service for this particular month. So I would like to invite you to begin the service with me with the chanting of Sambujo, 3 respectful callings, and that can be found in the inside front cover of our service book. And this will be followed by the Hyobyakumon, the dedication of this service, and of course the reading of the names of our departed loved ones. Ujyo Nidanyodaim Niyudo Jo San Gem Da Kum Ujyo Shakanyodaim Niyudo Jo San Ge Da Ku Bujo Jibonyodaim Niyudo Jo San Gem Da Ku We have gathered today to observe our Shotsuki monthly memorial service. This is our monthly service to remember friends and loved ones who have passed away in the month of April. They are Kenji Akaba, Ruth Akaba, Kiyoshi Asai, Harry Jiro Baba, Lawrence Alvin Frice, Gary Kiyoshi Fujihara, Glenn S. Fuji, Eiko Hamamoto, Ted Takashi Hayashi, Barbara Shizuko Hayashino, Kenso Higashiyama, Fumiko Hisaka, Julie Karen Hisaka, Tsukane Hisatomi, Kaiichi Horita, Kimi Horita, Florence M. Itaya, Douglas Kajioka, Tadaichi Kamidoi, Sumiko Kamigaki, Fumio Kanemoto, Masayuki Jim Kimura, Misao Koga, Takino Kuwabara, Irene Kaoru Matsuoka, Janet Fujie Mizuno, Maureen Shigeo Mizuno, Hideo Morinaka, Kameki Morita, Linda Moriwaki, Misao Murakami, Tomiko Nakatsu, Alice Shizuko Nishida, Helen Harue Nishida, Fusae Nishimoto, Tomie Ota, Takeshi Okamoto, Miki Okubo, Frank Okuna, Frank Masao Okura, Isaburo Omiya, Ted Tadasu Oseto, George Sadaji Otsubo, Emiko Quinton, Kaname Sasaki, Grace Kyoko Shiba, Reiko Shibata, Fukutaro Shingu, Grace Takeuchi, Yutaka Tauchi, Harry Tsushima, Stephen Wakai, Yutaka Watanabe, Kichizo Yagi, Mildred Toshiko Yamamura, James Mineo Yamauchi, Chieko Yasui, Shizuko Mary Yonemura, Ayako Aida Yoshino, Ernest Yotsuya, Umeko Yotsuya, Tomoe Yamashita, Fumie Higashiyama, George Sakai, Molly Tsurue Shimobayashi, Kyoko Sugimoto, Edward Kiyoshi Nakade, and Marsha Mariko Yagi. We realize in the cherished memories of those we love and have lost, the impermanence of all the world is revealed. May the fragrance of the incense teach us the purity of our intentions. May the beauty of the flowers offered remind us of life's impermanence. May the lights that burn brightly on the altar lead our thoughts to Amida Buddha's light of wisdom and compassion. Please join me in Gasho. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namandawats. 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 Okay, so at this time, please join me in the chanting of Sambutsuge. And Sambutsuge can be found starting on page 82 of our service book. And I invite everyone to come forward to offer incense during the chanting of Sambutsuge. Shogakudayon Koru Jipom Ka 精進三昧寺へ一徳無量主生敬部人体前年小仏崩壊愚人人の空語外体無明欲ぬ世相女無二の死心人徳無量空君古代知恵寿命光明意相神道大仙観が差仏最小可動精進未不下脱不正上位解任精進如税三昧知恵以上公正特物不行志願一切空空一切大安決し無物百千億万無量大小修行五者供養一切死と小仏不尿愚道検証不逆異尿五者小仏世界不不可減無種節度光明師匠変死小国如税精進異人難量量が差仏国土第一公衆奇妙道場超絶国領内音二無闘争が愛民到達一切自法大小心熱症状意図が国気楽和の好物神妙税が師匠発願の日力少所欲自母生存知恵無限浄土子孫知が信行 계도 신십 쇼크도 그줌 가교 쇼진 닌즈 푸게 나만나부 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 간니시그도금 묘려세이사임 도운모다 이신 오디옴 나만다부츠 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 Okay, so please stand if you're able for the singing of the Gatha, Tsuicho no Uta, verses 1 and 2, which can be found on page 222, and this will be followed by the recitation of the three treasures on page 2. Three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves your supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord, in your life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda. Please be seated. So at this time, it's my pleasure to be able to share a few thoughts and words in today's Dharma message. And to begin my Dharma message, will you please join me in Gassho? The light of the Buddha of unhindered light harbors the lights of purity, joy, and wisdom. Its virtuous working surpasses conceptual understanding as it benefits the beings throughout the 10 quarters. From the collected works of Shinran, Hymns of the Pure Land. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda. So welcome again to this month's April Shotsky Monthly Memorial Service. And as I was thinking about last month, and due to my illness with COVID in the very beginning of the month, I was not able to be with you for the last Shotsky service, and really appreciate Koichi Mizushima, the minister's assistant from the Sacramento Betsman, for coming to my aid at very, very late notice. So on Sunday morning, I woke up completely sick, called him at 6:30 in the morning, and he was here by 10, or probably a little bit earlier. So I'm so grateful for Dharma friends in the community that can come to my aid when I need them. But it seems like such a long time ago that I was able to conduct our Shotsky Monthly Memorial Service. So I'm glad to be here with you. And as I mentioned in the Dharma School Dharma message, I was on vacation and just returned back into the office on Friday and had a funeral that morning, and things have just been a little bit busy. And so it's been a little bit difficult to get back into working mode. And there could be many reasons why it's been a little bit difficult for me to get back. It was rather busy before I left, and so maybe it's because I had various tasks to do, attending to during the week before I left, and then even coming back. And as I was mentioning earlier again in my Dharma message, I'm very motivated by my stomach. And so there's times where I stop to take a break to eat or to have a snack. And so maybe I'm procrastinating doing my work because I'm hungry. But also, I think I also get distracted by my cell phone, by too much social media, or maybe the games that I play on my cell phone. So I always think about this act of procrastinating and why that's been with me probably since I was very little. And it's been a very difficult habit to break. And I still remember times when I was younger and I would ask my mom at the very last minute, can you help me type something on the computer, since I wasn't very good at typing? And just all of the heartache I think I would give my mom because I was such a procrastinator even when I was little. And so there was a book that I enjoyed reading with my book club in Florin called The Art of Taking Actions. And this was Lessons from Japanese Psychology by Greg Creech. And there's specifically a chapter dedicated to procrastination disguised as busyness. And so Greg, the author was explaining that there are strategies that we take to avoid what we need to do. So one strategy is spending lots of energy trying to find out why we're avoiding it, maybe like me. Another strategy is to assume you need to feel like doing something before you actually do it. For example, feeling comfortable or fully motivated to do it. If you ever seen me in my office, at times when I get there in the morning, I have to dump out my whole purse on my desk to feel like I'm cleaning up so that maybe I'll feel a little bit more settled to be able to do my work. Maybe it's better that you probably don't see me in my office doing that because you'd probably be wondering, what is she doing? Her whole desk is a mess. But I think maybe perhaps some of you might have some rituals like cleaning the house before you might have to do something. There's so many different things I think that I do to finally get motivated. So the author also stated that the popular procrastination strategy is to do something else instead. And I think I managed to accomplish all of these strategies of procrastination even before writing this particular message. So when I think about Shotsky, and when I think about, especially all of you who are here today, you're here because of your loved one. And for me, September is a particularly difficult month because, as you might know, my mom died in September. And actually, my grandma, on my mom's side, she died in September too. And so before that time, September was always kind of an exciting month for me. And it marked the start of something new, especially as a little girl. It was the start of the new school year. And I was really excited to get new school supplies, a new backpack, maybe a new outfit for the first day of school. And even here, for our Dharma School students, it was the beginning of our new Dharma School year, which also included a picnic from the Northern California district. We would all get together for a picnic. But of course, in September 2003, it marked the end of my mom's earthly life. And since then, I felt like my heart has been completely changed and transformed over time. Initially, I felt completely heartbroken, but looking back 20 years, it's been changed and transformed during these last 20 years. So as I mentioned before, it was very dark, and I was in despair during that time. But, of course, I have to look back during these last 20 years to know that there has been light and purpose in my life. And I still honestly catch myself being anxious at times regarding many aspects of my life, even preparing Dharma messages and getting ready for services. And to be honest, sometimes my anxiety and my worries prevent me from being in this very moment. As I was mentioning with the Dharma School children, as even though I was having fun in Disneyland, it was sometimes hard for me to still be present and mindful of that moment of being with my family. So a few years ago in September, I planned on meeting my sister Tiffany at her school. And she teaches at Claudia Landine in Lincoln Unified, and there were a few things that I had to drop off for her. So as I drove, thinking about my anxieties and being on autopilot, I think sometimes I'll even drive and wonder, how did I get from point A to point B? Because I was not mindful at all about what I was doing. So again, I was thinking about all these other things that I needed to do. And I think I might have mentioned this before, but I got stopped at the light turning onto Feather River. And there were two little boys who were walking home from school. They were just really cute and adorable, interacting with each other. And they were waiting for their light to turn green so that they could safely cross. And as they patiently waited at the corner, they just stood there, waving to cars as they were passing by. And they had huge smiles on their faces, and they even encouraged the trucks to honk their horns. So many of you might have done this passing by trucks. They were doing that too. And many people who were passing by, they waved, and even the fire truck that came by them honked their horns, so they were just ecstatic. So I watched the joy on these little boys' faces, and they celebrated when people would wave and honk back at them. And their light finally turned green, and they crossed the street holding hands. And they continued to wave at each other, at the cars, as they passed the crosswalk. And I had an opportunity to wave at them too. And I think despite everything that I was going through, I needed to see their little faces and their joy. And so I even got teary-eyed, and I still get a little choked up thinking about this encounter I had with these two little strangers. So again, it reminded me of how wonderful it is to feel like a child again and to experience pure joy and happiness while walking home from school. And there was a lightness that I admired and I appreciated about these two children, which then encouraged and allowed me to be fully present with my sister during that very short visit that I had with her. So I was even transported back to the time of our days growing up together and all the fun that we had playing together. And I actually even see one of our dear friends. Thanks for coming, Eric. And how much fun we had at the temple with our friends playing basketball and hanging out. And just how wonderful my life was, especially with my mom being present. And I thought about even my sister at the moment and how kind and gentle and caring and generous she is till this day, and how she was like that when we were younger. And it's so wonderful for me to be able to even celebrate her birthday tomorrow. So after that encounter, those how many years ago, I returned to the office, and I was really filled with a lot of gratitude for all of those encounters that I had that day. So we can really learn so much from children, and I'm also very fortunate to have another dear friend who came up during that same time a few years ago. She was living in Long Beach, and she came up to Stockton while her mom was still living here as well. And this friend of mine, I'm so privileged to say that she and I have been friends for 40 years. I met her when I was 6 years old. So I just gave my age away. But it's so wonderful to think that I've known somebody for almost my entire life. And so my friend Kiana, she was returning to Stockton to assist her mother with packing. And Kiana's mother actually now was living with her in Long Beach. And Kiana came with her son as well. And Kiana was preparing to put her son down for bed. And as I was able to be there, I said goodnight to him. And her son's face just, again, was so pure and light and bright. And there were so many physical features that I had noticed in her son's face that I had always seen in Kiana's face growing up. And Kiana's son also reminded me of the preciousness of life and how many causes and conditions allowed him to be born to his particular parents. And so at the end of the evening, I was saying goodbye to Kiana, and we probably talked for another half an hour, just catching up about life. By this time, it was dark outside, and although we both knew it was rather late, we just chatted away like we always done before. Suddenly, Kiana said, "I see your mom in your face. In this light, I see your mom." And even to this day, as I'm tearing up just thinking about how many years after my mom had passed that she still sees her in my face. And it took me by surprise, but I thanked her for her kind comment, especially since I was approaching a lot of grief as I was approaching that 18th year anniversary. So it warmed my heart to hear that she had seen my mom in my face, and that I was able to see her son in her son's face, and Kiana's face as well. And it warmed my heart that others, again, still remember my mom, and it reminded me that, of course, she is a part of me. And in addition to thanking her, all I could really say, a lot has happened since she's passed away. So in these particular encounters with those little boys at the crosswalk waiting for their light to change, being able to see Kiana and her son And even to have Kiana see my mom's face and my face in that light, I was inspired by lights. And despite all of the darkness that I felt after losing my mom, there was a light that guided me during that time and still guides me through all of these different opportunities after her passing. So these lights, like the red light that I was stopped at, allowed me to encounter those two little boys who were walking home and the light that radiated from their carefree hearts and minds. The light inside my friend's mother's home allowed me to see Kiana and her son, who is the light of her life. And lastly, like I said, that outdoor street lamp and the moonlight allowed Kiana to see my mother's face as she looked in mine. And to illustrate this power of light, I selected the opening hymn from Shinran Shonin, our founder, as he wrote about the Pure Land. So once again, Shinran wrote, "The light of the Buddha of unhindered light harbors the lights of purity, joy, and wisdom. Its virtuous working surpasses conceptual understanding, as it benefits the beings throughout the 10 quarters." Light in relation to the Buddha of unhindered light means not being obstructed by the blinding passions of greed and anger and ignorance. Ignorance. This light saves us from greed and the karma of greed, which is why it's called purity and joy. And this light also saves us from anger, which is why it is called joy. This light also saves us from ignorance, which is why it is called wisdom. So although I realize that I may not be able to completely get rid of all of these human afflictions of greed and anger and ignorance or stupidity in my own earthly life, Shinran's definitions alone remind me that the light that is shown all around me is pure and joyous and full of wisdom, like children and their smiling faces. Amida Buddha's pure and joyous light shares wisdom to break through the darkness of our lives, to encourage us to live gratefully for all of the different karmic conditions of our lives, and such as being born to my particular parents, having the siblings that I do, and having encounters with my dearest friends. So I hope that you too find this joy of light in your life, especially coming from all of your departed loved ones and friends in the Dharma who are still shining their light for us each and every day. And so where do you see Amida Buddha's light in your life? And where do you see it as benefits in your lives as well? So to close my message, please join me in Gassho as I also conclude with this hymn once again. The light of the Buddha of unhindered light harbors the lights of purity, joy, and wisdom. Its virtuous working surpasses conceptual understanding, as it benefits the beings throughout the 10 quarters. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Okay, thank you. So before we conclude, shall we sing Ondoksan number 2 together? And this can be found on page 197 in our service books. And please stand if you are able to be able to sing Ondoksan number 2. Namandavats, 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 namandavats. Will you please join me in Gasho for our last recitation? May we truly reflect with gratitude and humility on that which we have been allowed to receive through the teachings of the Buddha. May we always endeavor to listen intently with our fellow beings to the summoning voice of Amida Buddha, and together as one, be born in Amida's pure land. With a radiant and boundless mind, may we each regard all living beings with loving kindness without limit. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namandavats, namandavats, namandavats. Okay, please be seated. So thank you again for your kind attendance today for this monthly Shotsuki Memorial Service for the month of April. And we did have quite a few announcements, so hopefully you heard many of those. But we do have a few fundraisers going. So YABA, the Young Adult Buddhist Association, has Da Vinci tickets for sale for their fundraiser. The Young Buddhist Association has a popcorn sale, and that information can also be found in the foyer. And it's a wonderful opportunity for our youth program to earn some money, because 50% of sales actually goes back to the YBA. So, and the popcorn's good. So it's a great way to support them. Anything else? 28th. So the last Sunday of April, there will not be service, and we won't be streaming anything as well, because there's the Federation of Dharma School Teachers League Conference. Yeah, that's probably the major things. Okay. And I know probably you have already heard, but sadly, Reverend Charles Hasagawa passed away, and so we'll be holding his service, which is an open service for everybody to attend, on April 13th at 11 o'clock, if you'd like to attend. Okay. So thank you, everybody. Please be safe and well, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you. Thank you. I think Michael will probably be here by 8:39. Yeah, so I think you're gonna Oshoko, right? Oh, yeah, yeah. And actually, Reverend Joe told him, he said, I'm a little bit unsteady, and so changing is hard for me, so he's... Oh, son-in-law? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So, yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah.
What time you want the manju here by then?
Probably.
Or do you want it Saturday?
Yeah, maybe.
Because I can just have Charlie drop it off to you. Even at your house. I mean.
Yeah, or, but before